Shalom Israel, we're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, and you know what time it is. It's the Lord's 57th annual Passover, and it's going to be held in Houston, Texas on April 4th. Don't forget, bring your family, bring your friends, because this is going to be the time that so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans can come under one roof in one house and to serve the Lord. It's that time. $200 per person. Don't forget, over the age of 17. Don't forget the Lord's Passover. It's coming.
Kingdoms ours, all the heathens forbidden. The chosen bow down to no one. It was written.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Y'all Bashem and to the brothers. Y'all Shamala Thought Bashem, y'all shout to the sisters. All right. We had the ISUPK. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. You understand? We are since 1969, we are under commanding General Yohana. You understand what I'm saying? We ain't affiliated with no Christian church, no Muslim mosque, or no Black Panther movements, all right? Or any other bliggity black groups or associations y'all want to be associated with. All right. Thank you for joining the class. You understand? We got a good one for you, man. Y'all need to get y'all pencils, right? Get your pencils, get your paper, because y'all about to be in for one tonight. All right. First, anybody in the chat, y'all got any questions, put them in the chat. If y'all can hear me, give me a one west real quick. All right. Give me a one west. So I can know y'all hear me. All right. All right. All right. Okay. All right, y'all. All right. Tonight's class, I know y'all seen the title, right? It's about the Passover. You understand what I'm saying? We have to understand that, how can I put it? The Passover is probably the single most important high holy day and event that ever happened to our people. You understand what I'm saying? It's important because this is something that puts us in the spirit of where we need to be. You understand, to receive our salvation. You understand? We got to understand that salvation is us being rescued. You understand what I'm saying? From our oppressors. All right. So we're going to give you the history of the Passover tonight. And hopefully by the time you leave this class tonight, right? One, you're going to be headed to Houston, Texas. For the Passover. Give yourselves a hand for that if y'all. You understand? And two, you will understand the significance and why this is the most important time of year for us, and one of the most important things that ever happened to us, to our people, and why we should always remember the Passover, and why we should be in the spirit of the Passover from here on out until Yahweh Shah Mashiach return, the black man that the world so ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. All right. So we're going to get into it first. Now, we know that the Christian church is getting ready to celebrate what's called Easter, right? All right. Yesterday was the start of Palm Sunday. All right. So I want anybody, any Christians, anybody that, that's watching, that's not affiliated or not in the school, I want you to show me two things in the Bible. I'm gonna give you a couple seconds. I want you to show me Palm Sunday. All right, and then I want you to show me Easter. And this is the most important thing. This is an important thing that we got to understand about the Bible. When you speak about the Bible, you claim to be a teacher of the Bible, you must be able to show and prove what is in the Bible. You understand what I'm saying? When asked, when questioned, when challenged, you understand what I'm saying? You're supposed to be able to answer these things. If you can't, then you have no reason or no business even touching the Bible. And I can say 100% without a shadow of a doubt, if you're not Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, you should not have the Bible in your hand. It does not pertain to you. So Palm Sunday is some despicable, disgusting holiday that the Catholic Church made. It's supposedly about when Christ went into Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover, right? And that was when the people were saying, Hosanna, Hosanna on high, saying, bless him and all these things, right? The Lord never told us to celebrate that day. That was not given to us when we came out of Egypt. Christ never said celebrate that. So we could scratch that. Now, can anybody tell me where Easter at? If you don't know, it's cool. No sweat. We're going to show you in the ISUPK and the Command and General Hummer. This is what Easter, this is the only part of the Bible where the word or the translation Easter is at. And it is a reason for that. You understand what I'm saying? Because you got to understand the Bible was translated from another language, right? From the language that it was in, that the scrolls was in, into the language that we speak so that we could understand it. It's called a translation, right? Or they say words like transliteration, right? So the word Easter, if translated properly, right, comes from a Hebrew word, right? Pesach, which means Passover, right? So in order to know this, you have to know where the Passover at in the Bible. You have to be able to find these things, all right? So we're going to show you Easter in the Bible first. The book of Acts, if I could, out of one, let me get the book of Acts chapter 12, right? And verse 4, right? I'm going to pull it up on my screen as well over here at the crib. All right. The book of Acts. The book of Acts chapter 12, right? The book of Acts 12, and we're going to go to 6, right? Now, what we got to do is we're going to give a little background, right? Because we got to understand context. You got to understand all these things when you read in the Bible. You have to understand that it's certain words put there for a reason. Everything means something in the Bible. It's not just something that's put out. You understand what I'm saying? This thing was put together for a reason. You know, the Lord wanted it put this way, right? So now, the context of this is Herod, right? Looking to capture Peter, right? They attacking the disciples. This is after Christ died, right? Now this is gonna do away with another wicked teaching that's also in the Bible, that you know that we don't have to keep the laws, right? The Passover, the keeping of the Passover is a law. Y'all do understand that, right? We gonna get it for you. You understand? Soon. We're going to get that for you. But what you got to understand is that keeping the Passover is a law, and it was ordained. The Lord gave it to Moses and told him what to do concerning, right? But this is the book of Acts chapter 12. This is after Christ has died, right? This is after he's gone. Remember, Christ was unalived, right? During Passover, right? So it says Acts chapter 12, verse 4. Yeah, we're gonna start at verse verse 4. That's the verse we're gonna go into, right? And he says, and when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to four quaternions, right? A quaternion, these are just officers, guards, right? You understand? It's a nice little amount of soldiers, right? to keep him, right? And it says, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people, right? Now, if we go up to verse 1, if I could, Otto, right? If you go to Acts 1, you'll see it says, now about that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church, right? Now, we understand that the word church just means congregation. It's not a building. So what it's saying is King Herod stretched forth his hand to do something to a certain group of people, right? Which we all know was the disciples, right? The people who followed the teachings of Christ, right? Verse 2, and he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword, right? Verse 3, and because he saw it pleased the Jews, right? And this is something that's so wicked, what we got to understand right here in verse 3. Our very own people, right, supported the unaliving of their people. You see what I'm saying? Like, just like right now, I can honestly say out of my mouth without a shadow of a doubt, all the people who sit there and say they love Christ. If Christ was here right now and told you you couldn't celebrate Easter, you would offer him up to be slain again. How do I know this? Because the same people who were there saying, Hosanna, Hosanna, bless him, were the same people that was saying crucify him. This is all biblical, right? So we do understand this, okay? Going on, he proceeded further to take Peter also. Then were the days of unleavened bread, right? Does anybody know what the day of unleavened bread is? Can anybody tell me what the days of unleavened bread are? And this is crazy because this man, Herod, is actually trying to, it looked like he's keeping up a custom. Killing of unaliving the disciples. He unalived Christ at the last Passover. This is after Christ is gone. This is after Christ is already gone. Christ is already taken out of this world. Right? So the Feast of Unleavened Bread is also a law. It happens right after Passover. And if you don't know, right about now, you need to be taking out anything that has leaven in it. Any type of bread or anything like that. Baking soda, anything that is able to make bread rise. Okay? All right? And we celebrate that right after the Passover. The Passover is going to be on that Saturday. That Sunday is the starting of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You understand? And this is when Herod is here to take them. But you see down in verse 4, that is the only place where it says Easter in the Bible. And that is a mistranslation. That is the only reason why that's there, because it's a mistranslation, okay? We can drop that. But that was just to show you what Easter is in the Bible, and to show you that it's not Easter what you celebrate with bunny rabbits and eggs and fertility gods. You understand what I'm saying? Here we go. In Hebrew, Easter is called Pesach, which is derived from the Hebrew word of Passover, Pesach. It is often referred to as Chag HaPesacha, festival of Easter by some, through the term is directly related to the Pesach sacrifice Passover context. All right. Water for that, Officer Yagadah. And by the way, y'all give Officer 500 Yagadah hand. My brother. You understand? On the ones and twos, always doing a great job. You understand what I'm saying? In this work of the Lord. Okay. Now, I'm going to just, we going to do this because I really want to get all of these in there. So I should be able to get it in there. All right. Okay. We're going to go to, let's go to Numbers 33. All right. Numbers 33, Baba Kashah. We're going to go to the Passover itself, to where the law is, right? To where the law of Passover is. All right. All right. Now, if you look right here, and what y'all have to understand is, this is why this is so important for us to understand, right? About what it is that we about what it is that we do, the things that we celebrate, the things that we recognize. Because Christ, remember, Christ told the Phoenician woman, the white woman, he said, "You know not what you worship. We know what we worship." You understand? We worship the Most High God of Israel. You understand? So when you saying you keeping a day that is supposed to be to the God of Israel, you have to show that there is a reason why you're doing it. The Lord doesn't do anything for nothing. The Lord didn't tell you to celebrate the death of his son. Why would he tell you to celebrate the death of, and this is one thing about black people. We got to stop looking at death as a celebration. Death is not a celebration. You're losing your life. Most of us lose our lives horribly and early. All right? And often. There is nothing celebratory about dying. Okay? Can we stop it? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, can we stop it? But there is something. There is a type of thing that we can celebrate. You understand? And that is the destruction of our oppressors. No one in this Bible prayed for the Egyptians. Moses did not pray for the Egyptians. Aaron did not pray for the Egyptians. The children of Israel did not pray for the Egyptians. What they did was they prayed for the Most High to save them, to get them from under the bondage of these people. And this is what happened, okay? Just to give you some background, we're going to start on at verse 1. These are the journeys of the children of Israel, which went forth out of the land of Egypt with their armies under the hand of Moses and Aaron, right? And notice it said with their armies, right? If we were just a people, just being let loose, it would have said that, but it said with their armies. Okay? The Lord made us a fighting people, and we're going to get into the scripture of why. The Lord made us and called us an army. The people came out with their armies, the men who were going to protect the people. You understand? All right. Verse 2. And Moses wrote their goings out according to their journeys by the commandment of the Most High. And these are their journeys according to their goings out, right? And it's verse 3, and it says, and they departed from Ramses in the first month on the 15th day of the first month on the morrow after Passover. Uh-oh. There go that word again. Passover, right? The children of Israel went out with an high hand in the sight of all the Egyptians, right? Now we're about to see what this Passover is, right? Verse 4, for the Egyptians buried all of their firstborn, which the Lord had smitten among them. Upon their gods also the Lord executed judgments. I need everybody to remember verse 4, because that is the most important verse in this chapter. You understand? And I'm going to read that part again. The Passover, the children of Israel went out with an high hand in the sight of all the Egyptians, right? Verse 4, the Egyptians, not Israel, but the Egyptians, right? Buried all their firstborn, which the Lord had smitten among them. Upon their gods also the Lord executed judgments, right? All right, so if we go down, We go down, and bibbidi bobbidi. Okay, that's it. We're gonna stop right there with that, right? We're gonna leave that right there. So we got that part. All right. We got that part. Remember verse 4, right? All right, we could drop that. All right. We're going to go to Exodus 15. All right. We're going to go to Exodus 15. Now, this is where y'all need to get, really have your pen and your pad ready. All right. 15:3. All right. But remember verse 4, what it said. The Lord executed judgment. To execute judgment, that means someone was punished. You understand? Somebody was punished for something. The Lord executed judgment on the Egyptians, man, for having his people in oppression, for having them as slaves. All right. It said all of the Egyptians lost their firstborn children. Now listen, notice it didn't say none of the Israelites prayed for those firstborn children of the Egyptians. Why is that? Can anyone tell me why the Israelite did not pray for any of these plagues that we're about to read, or anything that happened to those firstborn? Why didn't they pray to let them be saved? Or why didn't they say, oh Lord, don't do that, they all ain't bad? Why is that? Can anybody give me an answer? I'll give you a couple seconds. Right? Give you a couple seconds. All right. Anybody know why? All right. The reason being, why would we pray for people who destroy us? Why would we pray for people who prey on us? That's a bar. I hope y'all caught that. That's a bar right there. Why would we pray for people who prey on us? Why would I ask the Lord not? What? Right. Officer Matazar Cross said they knew they were in captivity. That's right. Sister Deborah said it was not for the oppressed to save the oppressor. God damn, give that sister a hand. Sheesh. Why would you pray for your oppressor? You think them children gonna forgive you if you hurt their people? If you take away their mothers, or you done unalive their children. You still want to stay there with them? The Lord is unalive their firstborns. You still want to be in Egypt as if they're going to live with you in harmony? Come on, man. We got to wake up. Exodus 15:3. The Most High is a man of war. What does that mean? He's a man of war. Is the Most High a literal man? Is he flesh and blood? What is the Most High? It says he's a man of war. Why does it say he's a man of war? Anybody can answer. Why does it say he's a man of war? Anybody can answer. It's all right. Take your time. You can answer. You understand? I thought God was a spirit. What does it mean he's a man? All right. For time's sake, the Lord's essence is as a man. You understand what I'm saying? The very essence of him is masculine. He's not a wimpy person. He's not a how can I put it? He's not like Caesar Borgia. You understand? He's not like a white man. You understand? He has the makeup of a masculine man. There's only one type of masculine man, and those are the Israelite men, which are Hispanics, Native Indians, and Negro men. And you all understand that, right? There is a certain vigor about a Black and Hispanic and Native Indian man that no other man on this planet has about himself. You understand? The Lord made us that way too. It says he's a man of war. You understand? What is war? War is conflict. You understand? And it says the Most High is his name. We already know in the school of ISUPK, in the school of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, what the Lord's name is. The Lord's name is Yahweh. You understand? In the Hebrew. And we understand that our power, our God, is a man of war. You understand that? He's a man of conflict. I pray you understand. Do y'all understand that? War is conflict. Somebody is going to lose their life in war. The Lord, the God of Israel, is a man of war. He is a man of conflict. Oh, we getting somewhere tonight. You understand? And we're going to show you why he's a man of conflict. And he goes to war about his people. You understand that? Everything about Passover was done for you, for the Lord to show you that he is the only power that exists in this earth and that he loves you. And for that love, for him loving you, he is willing to destroy everything, every other thing in this earth that he created to give you a life and a life abundantly. You understand? All right. We could drop that. We're going to go into the first part of this. Exodus chapter 7, right? We're going to start at verse 9 and we're going to work our way through 12, right? Exodus 7, we're going to start at verse 9. All right. It says, when Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, show a miracle for you. Now, I need y'all to understand that what y'all about to see, this is what a miracle is, right? The Lord is telling Moses that Pharaoh is going to tell him, show me a miracle, right? And this is another type of class, you know what I'm saying, about what miracles are. But right here, we're going to show you a distinct miracle, right? What is a miracle? A miracle is something miraculous, something that just happens out of nowhere. You understand? It comes from out of nowhere. You don't know what it was like. Oh man, like you walk out, you ever walk down the street and you was hungry or something, and you just look down and hey, look down. Oh man, he got $20, right? That's like a miracle, right? Because you was hungry. You didn't know how you was gonna eat. But $20 come on the ground. You pick it up, right? Pharaoh, the Lord said Pharaoh was going to tell Moses to show a miracle for them. You understand? From their God, right? Because Pharaoh didn't believe in the Lord. The scriptures tell us in Exodus, I think in the first chapter, it said there was a Pharaoh that came that knew not the Lord. You understand? The Pharaoh before him knew about the God of Israel and how mighty he was, right? Through a brother named Joseph. You understand? And before then, even down into the days of Abraham, the Egyptian pharaohs knew who the God of Israel was. You understand? They knew. But this Pharaoh, oh no, he didn't know. So he made our people slaves. You understand? He made our people serve with rigor, turned us into a horrible oppression. You understand? And would not change. He didn't honor our people. He didn't honor our God, as Pharaoh did before him, right? So then it says, then thou shalt say unto Aaron, take thy rod and cast it before Pharaoh, and it shall become a serpent, right? Now, the miracle is what? What is the miracle that's about to happen? Come on, y'all. This Passover time, baby. Lord's 57th annual Passover. Yes, sir. You understand? Let's go. I pray this the last one in captivity. Barakatah wa Yahweh shot for that. You understand? The miracle is that a rod, right? A stick, a staff. Aaron is going to take it and throw it on the ground, right? And when he throws this stick on the ground, it's going to turn into a snake. It says a serpent, right? It's going to turn into a snake, right? Can we get verse 10, sir? And verse 10 says, and Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did so as the Lord had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to what's about to happen. Now, the miracle didn't just work for Aaron, right? Watch this, because this is a miracle also, right? Verse 10, right? Hold on, wait a minute. Yeah, verse 10. And Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did so as the Lord had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. Verse 11. Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers. Now, this is Pharaoh calling in, right? This is the good part. This is Pharaoh in verse 11 calling his wise men, the wise men of Egypt, and the sorcerers, right? He's calling them in, right? And it says, now the magicians, right? What is a magician? A magician is someone that does what's called magic, right? They do magic, right? We all know what magic is. It's an illusion, right? But this ain't no illusion. This is really happening. Aaron really threw his stick down, right? It turned into a serpent. Now, Pharaoh is telling the Egyptian, right, to throw down their sticks, right? And it says, they also did in like manner with their enchantments. Verse 12. For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents. Now, can somebody tell me what's going on, right? If we say that our God, right, is the only living, breathing God, then how was it, right, that Pharaoh was able to call in his magicians, right, and they were able to make their rods turn into snakes because they didn't worship the God of Israel? Is the Bible contradicting itself? Our God clearly tells us that the other gods do not exist. So how are these Egyptians able to make snakes from their rods? If the Bible tells us, even in scripture, that the God we serve, he said that there is no other God beside me, can anyone tell me, please, for the sake of the integrity of the Bible, Can anyone tell me? Now I'm gonna give you the answer. But I want to know if anyone can tell me why, how, and how. Well, how? We're not even gonna say why. We're gonna say how. How did the men, the Egyptians, the magicians, with their enchantments, how did they turn their rods into snakes if our God is the only living, breathing God? Is the Bible contradicting itself? No problem. I'll give you the answer. Our God gave them the power to do it. Give Trooper McCall y'all a hand. The Most High allowed it. Have you all not seen in the scriptures where it says the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart? Why do you think Moses and Aaron didn't get, they didn't say, well, dang, they rods turned into snakes too. But watch this. Watch this, right? Verse 12, it says, for they cast down every man his rod and they became serpents. But Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods. That's in verse 11, verse 12, right? Verse 12, for they cast down every man his rod and they became serpents. But Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods, right? We got to understand this, man. The Lord allowed the Egyptians' rods to turn into snakes. And there is a reason for that. There is a reason for that. And you're about to see it right now. Remember, Numbers 33 and verse 4 said what? Towards the end, the Lord said, you understand that he destroyed, he punished the gods, right? He put judgment on the gods of Egypt. And we're going to find out what that judgment is, because the Lord is going to do the same thing to America and its gods and its Pharaoh to let us go. But we have to understand that the gods of the Americans, you understand, of the white man, are not real. The God of Easter is not real. The God of Passover is. Okay? Now, we're about to get into why the Lord is a man of war, right? He's a man of conflict. We have a God that loves conflict. You understand? He loves proving that he exists, right? Through conflict. You understand? We're going to go into Exodus chapter 7. If you drop down to verse 16, this is the beginning of the plagues. Okay? This is the beginning of the plagues, right? And y'all are going to find out that each of these plagues, like I said, the Lord doesn't do anything for nothing. Everything he does is for a reason, right? Now, remember, he just allowed these Egyptian magicians to turn their rods into snakes, right? Oh, man. Oh, me. Oh, my. The God of Israel, he has competition. Oh, no. Whatever are we going to do? They turned their rods into snakes. Even though Aaron's rod swallowed up the rest of them, but they still had that power. So we're going to show that it was our God that gave them that power. But just for playing along's sake, we're going to say, or hang at the theory, just for teaching purposes, what, the Egyptians, their rods turned to snakes too. So they got power, right? We're about to get into it. This is the first battle, right? A war is made up of many battles. You understand? And you have to understand war to understand these analogies, right? Or to even understand the Passover. You understand? The Passover was a war. Like how the war is going in Iran, you see they fight many battles. There's certain parts of the war. And then you get to where, you know, once you winning, whoever's winning, they get to the final kill, right? So just keep that in mind. All right. We're going to go down to Exodus chapter 7. We're going to start at verse 16. All right. It says, and thou shalt say unto him, the Lord God of the Hebrews, not the Lord God of everybody else, not the Lord God of the Hebrews and the Egyptians, but the Lord God of the Hebrews, right? Y'all understand that, right? Have sent me unto thee, saying, this is Moses talking to Pharaoh. He's saying, the Most High God of the Hebrews have sent me to you. You understand? Saying, let my people go. Why? Because we were slaves. We were being oppressed. We were in bondage. And people will say, hey, if you're a slave, why don't you just leave? You can't escape. You can't leave. You understand? You can't leave America from here and think you're going to go to China and not still be a slave. You are a nigger, spick, and savage everywhere you go in this earth. Do you understand that? You can't run from this because this is a sign upon you. You understand that, right? This is a sign among you so that we know that we are the Lord's. You understand? Right? And he says that they may serve me in the wilderness. And behold, hitherto thou wouldest not hear. Right? Verse 17. Thus saith the Lord, and this thou shalt know that I am the Lord. The Lord is letting Pharaoh know, listen, you're about to know that I'm the only God. I am the only power that exists. Your gods do not exist. And here is round one. The Lord drew first blood. Y'all ever heard of that term? To draw first blood? Y'all ever played that game? Y'all know the game well, when you was younger, two people was getting ready to fight, and one person would be like, the baddest one hit the dirt out my hand. Yeah, somebody stand there with a handful of dirt. And then whoever the baddest one was, they'll slap the dirt out the hand. And then after that, they're going to fight. Well, this is what the Lord did. You understand? The Lord drawing first blood. Ain't no more games. You think you something? The Egyptians thought they were gods. The Egyptians thought that their gods made them strong and made them powerful. Well, this is the answer of the God of the Hebrews, a God that is a God of conflict. I pray you understand. Right? Verse 17 says, thus saith the Lord, and this thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Behold, I will smite with the rod that is in my hand upon the waters which are in the river, and they shall be turned into blood. Right? Verse 18, and the fish that is in the river shall die, and the river shall stink, and the Egyptians shall loathe to drink of the water of the river. Verse 19, and the Most High spake unto Moses, say unto Aaron, take thy rod and stretch out thine hand upon the waters of Egypt, upon their streams, upon their rivers, and upon their ponds, and upon all their pools of water, that they may become blood, that there may be blood throughout all the land of Egypt, both in vessels of wood and in vessels of stone. Right? Now, if I could, sir, could you pull up the God of the Nile Happy or Hopi, H-A-I-P. Baba Kushar, the god of the Nile, Happy or Hopi. All right. The reason why we're showing you this, right? The reason why we're going to break this down is because y'all need to understand that the Lord is a man of war. The Lord is about to war for his people. Y'all do understand this, right? He's about to war for his people. And he's about to war against the gods of Egypt. Every single one of these plagues was a fight, was a declaration of war on a specific god of Egypt. Oh, we're about to get into it. Y'all about to see a side of Passover you probably never even knew. And here we go. Happy is the ancient Egyptian god of the annual Nile flooding, crucial for providing fertile silt for agriculture. You understand? Often called father of the gods, he symbolized fertility and prosperity, appearing as a plump, blue-skinned man with female breasts. Oh my God, look at that. Their god was a transgender, a hermaphrodite. It was a man and a girl. Our God is a man of conflict, not a man-woman who has breasts to represent nourishment, often depicted as twin deities overseeing upper and lower Egypt. Now, what was so important about the water? The Nile River was considered to be the source of life. So the Lord instantly went after the most valuable resource that they had, and one of their most valuable gods, often called the father of the gods. Isn't that crazy? The Lord went after the god Hopi after the river, turned it into blood. Why, you say? Can anybody tell me why? I'm going to see if y'all paying attention. Let's see if y'all paying attention. This is what learning is in the ISUPK under commanding General Yohana. You understand? I pray you do. And if you have a paper and a pencil, write this down. These scriptures right here are the beginning of the plagues, the beginning of war, the beginning of conflict with the gods of Egypt and the Egyptian people. This is God fighting our oppressors. All right? We do understand this, right? His first victim is Happy, right? Give Sister Deborah a hand. He went after it to prove that their God was nothing. Damn right. All right. And I'm going to read verse 20 up to 21. And Moses and Aaron did so as the Lord commanded. And he lifted up the rod and smote the waters that were in the river in the sight of Pharaoh and in the sight of his servants. And all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood. Verse 21. And the fish that was in the river died. And the river stunk. And the Egyptians could not drink of the water of the river. And there was blood throughout all the land of Egypt. And verse 22. Watch this. Here we go. And the magicians of Egypt did so with their enchantments. And Pharaoh's heart was hard. Now listen, what is diabolical about what's going on in verse 22? Can anybody tell me, do y'all not see how diabolical this is? Right? So you mean to tell me that the god Hopi, right, one of many now gods, but this is the main one. Hopi, right? He gave these Egyptian magicians power to put more blood into the river. Man. So did Happy give those magicians power to destroy the river? The river that she is over? I hope y'all see what these scriptures are saying. Right? All right. And it said, Pharaoh's heart was hard, neither did he hearken unto them as the Lord had said. The Lord is telling Moses, listen, don't worry about Pharaoh doing what you're asking him to, or what you're telling him that I'm telling him to do. I'm not going to allow him to listen to you. Some of us need to understand that. You understand? You can't march and beg for rights. The Lord is not going to allow Donald Trump to hear you. He's not going to let Esau, the Edomites, the so-called white race, he's not going to let them love you. He's not going to let them listen to you or adhere to you begging to be treated like a human. He's not going to let it happen. He's hardened their hearts towards you. And there is a reason for that. And we've said it over and over already. You understand? All right. And it says, neither did he hearken unto them as the Lord had said. And Pharaoh turned and went into his house, neither did he set his heart to do this also. The Lord, the nigga didn't even want to go in the house. Pharaoh ain't even operating himself. The Lord is literally controlling Pharaoh. The Lord is literally controlling him. This is why the Passover is the most important thing to ever happen in this Bible besides Christ. This is why Christ is considered the Passover. And that's another class. Because Christ still kept the Passover. And the disciples after him kept the Passover. Because the Passover is important. We have to understand the importance of the Passover. You understand? The Passover was literally the war of the gods. It was the war of the gods. Our God went to war with the gods of Egypt. You understand? You understand? And Pharaoh turned and went into his house. Neither did he set his heart to do this also. Man, the Lord is literally controlling this man. Let me tell you something. You think Donald Trump wanted to go over there and be in this war? Donald Trump wanted to sit here in America and just rule over God's people. Deport us, mistreat us. That is what Donald Trump wanted to do. Donald Trump sent these people over there, this army, to Iran. He didn't even want to. In Donald Trump's mind, can you imagine what he's thinking? Like, what the hell am I doing? The same as Pharaoh. Pharaoh's like, what the hell am I doing? The river just turned into blood. I'm supposed to have a God, my God that is over the Nile, to stop and clear the flood up, the river up. But my magician just put more blood into it. He don't even recognize this. World War III is the Valley of Jehoshaphat. It's the same thing. It's the Lord going to war. Conflict. Pleading for his people to be set free. Even if we was to get free from the white man here, it'd be another race of people to take us in. Y'all do know that, right? If the white man let us go right now and we was to get from under him and defeat him, the Arabs would come and take us into slavery. If we was to get from under the Arabs, the Africans would come right back and get us. The Lord is going to use World War III to free us and destroy our enemies, just like he did with the Passover. Verse 24 says, and all the Egyptians dig round about the river for water to drink, for they could not drink of the water of the river, but they have a river god. Where is their God? Their God does not exist. So that's round one, right? That is plague number one. All right. If I could, sir, could we go to Exodus 8? Exodus chapter 8, right? Exodus chapter 8. We're going to start at verse 2, right? Exodus chapter 8. We're going to start at verse 2. All right. Now, this is Moses going back into Pharaoh again, right? Verse 2, it says, if thou refuse to let them go, behold, I will smite all thy borders with frogs. Now, this is plague 2. I hope y'all got y'all paper and y'all pen and y'all writing this down. You're going to want to remember this. You understand? The Lord is saying he's going to smite their borders with frogs, right? And the river shall bring forth frogs abundantly, which shall go up and come into thine house and into thy bedchamber, and upon thy bed, and into the house of thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thine ovens, and into thy kneading troughs. So what Moses is telling Pharaoh, listen, if you don't let us go, listen, man, the Lord done already plagued y'all with blood. Moses conceded or whatever and said with the blood, like, okay, whatever, I'll do what y'all said to do. The Lord hardened his heart, but Moses went out, did what the Lord said. The rivers turned from blood back to normal, right? That's just to speed y'all up. Now, Moses is going in again now. This is the second time, right? And he telling them, listen, let the Lord people go. If not, we're going to bring frogs. We're going to plague it with frogs, right? As in verse 2, all right? And he goes down to verse 3. He basically telling them, hey, the frogs going to be in everything. Your bed, your oven, your kneading troughs, all that. You know what I'm saying? Where you put your flour at to do whatever is going, the frogs going to be in there, right? Verse 4, and the frogs shall come up both on thee and upon thy people and upon all thy servants. Moses telling them, listen, all these frogs going to come up. And they're going to come on you and all your people, right? And the Lord spake unto Moses, say unto Aaron. Now this way, whenever the Lord tell Moses, y'all going to learn this. When the Lord tell Moses to say something to Aaron, he ain't telling this nigga to go easy. It's about to go down. Moses is the mouthpiece. Aaron is the hand. This damn rod, Aaron, I wouldn't want to be near it. Because when the Lord tell Moses, look to Aaron and say such and such, something happened. Verse 5, and the Most High spake unto Moses, say unto Aaron, stretch forth thine hand with thy rod over the streams. Now he putting his hand right back over the water, right? Over the rivers and over the ponds, and cause frogs to come up upon the land of Egypt, right? Verse 6, and Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Egypt. Now here we go again, right? With verse 7. Watch this. And the magicians did so with their enchantments, and brought frogs upon the land of Egypt. Now, the magicians do it too, but they bring more frogs upon the land, right? Is it their God allowing them to do that? Well, let's just see. If I could, out of one, could you pull up the Egyptian god Heket is Hequet. Heket, right? This is the second god. Remember now, it's talking about frogs and all this coming up out the land and everything, right? Remember, Hapi was the god of the Nile, right? And Heket is god of fertility, right? It's a god of fertility, right? Heket, right? This is the second god that the Lord is going against, right? The god Heket, or Hequet, or Heket, Hequet, Hequet. All right? I hope y'all writing these gods down, because these are the gods the Lord is going against. He's fighting them, literally, right? He's literally fighting these gods. Our God is at war with these gods, right? It says Heket is the ancient Egyptian frog-headed goddess of fertility. The Lord is bringing the frogs out of the river to attack the people, and the frog is the direct representation of the god, the frog-headed goddess of fertility, childbirth, and resurrection. Revered for breathing life into newborns, associated with the final stages of labor and the Nile's fertility. She was often paired with the creator god, Nom, and considered a protector of mothers, with her amulets popular for protection. Y'all see what's going on? That's two gods, right? This is the war of the gods. This is the battle of the gods, the battle of Egypt. You understand? Now, verse 7. Y'all see what it said in verse 7, right? It said the magicians of Egypt, they brought forth frogs. So they basically plaguing their own people, right? Their gods are giving them power to destroy them, right? Oh, we got a dilemma going on. Houston, we have a problem. These gods seem to be stupid. Right, Trooper McCall, y'all give him a hand. He say it's like the Most High making a mockery of those false gods. That is exactly what he's doing. Right? All right. For time's sake, we're going to keep going on. Right? We're going to drop down to Exodus 8. Verse 16 and 18, right? And remember, after all of these things, right, Moses is going out. Pharaoh is playing like, yeah, I agree. I'm going to do it. But he don't. The Lord is hardening his heart. So Moses will go out and do something. And whatever plague is going on, it'll stop. It'll just go right back to normal. The frogs will stop coming. Now, the damage is done. The damage ain't reversing. But the plague is just ended, right? So now, you got Exodus 16. We're going to start at 18, right? Exodus 8 and 16. We're going to start at verse 16. Okay. And the Lord said unto Moses, say unto Aaron, listen, I told y'all, every time the Lord tell this nigga Moses to say something to this nigga Aaron, it's problems. Aaron is the shooter, man. Aaron is the shooter. Aaron ain't bull-jiving. This nigga got the first AK-47 in all of niggerdom. He got a switch on it. And the Lord said unto Moses, say unto Aaron, stretch out thy rod and smite the dust of the land. What is the dust of the land? What is the dust? Can somebody tell me what the dust of the land is? What is the dust of the land? What's the dust of the land? Anybody? Aaron taking his rod, take his rod in his hand. Just imagine him, he got his rod. He hit the ground. What is the dust? All right. For time's sake, it's just the dirt. From dust ye came, from dust ye shall go. It's just the dirt. That's it. It's just dirt, right? So Aaron takes his hand, the rod, he stretches it, he hits the dust of the land, that it may become lice throughout the land of Egypt. Verse 17. And they did so, for Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod and smote the dust of the earth, and it became lice in the man and in beast. All the dust of the land became lice throughout all the land of Egypt. Verse 18. Here we go again. And the magicians did so with their enchantments to bring forth lice, but they could not. Uh-oh. 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 The magicians tried to do it in Egypt. They couldn't do it no more. They couldn't bring about the lice because now the gloves coming off. Now the Lord about to show and prove to them, listen, y'all gods don't exist, man. I don't know how y'all could ever think your gods exist and helping me and destroy your people. You understand? And the magicians did so with their enchantments to bring forth lice, but they could not. The Lord has taken the power from them. Uh-oh. Here we go. Here we go, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. The turn of the tide. They got no more power now. You understand? And the power they had, they was using to hurt themselves. Right? Verse 13. Then the magician said unto Pharaoh. Now, this is what the magicians say unto Pharaoh. Watch this. This is the singer of God. They called Moses the singer of God. Well, not singer, but finger, right? And this it says the singer, but it's the finger, right? They're calling Moses, they're saying that this is the finger of God, saying that this is the finger of Moses' God that is doing this, right? And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he hearkened not unto them as the Lord had said, right? So now, if I could, Baba Kashar, can you pull up the Egyptian god Geb, G-E-B? All right. G-E-B, the Egyptian god Geb, G-E-B. All right. Now, the Lord done already beat the brakes off Hoppy. He done beat the brakes off of Ket. Now he going at Jeb, right? He smited. What did he do? He told Moses to tell Aaron to take that AK-47, take it, hit the ground, the dust of the earth, which is the dirt. What is dirt? Dirt is earth, right? Dirt is earth, right? This is the God that the Lord is fighting now. Jeb is the ancient Egyptian god of earth, fertility, and a primeval king. You understand? This is the god of earth, the god of the soil, the god of earth, land. Earth is land. The Lord is now fighting him. Aaron took the stick, hit the dirt, and made lice come from it. The whole point of all of this is God is showing them, if my men, if my prophet, who I sent, Moses and Aaron, if my prophets are saying what I'm going to do, why can't your gods reverse it or stop it? This is the point. Often depicted lying beneath the sky goddess Nut to personify the land. As a crucial Heliopolitan, right? Heliopolitan, Salakia, a need deity, He was thought to cause earthquakes, provide vegetation, and act as a gateway to the afterlife, right? That was Jeb, okay? Jeb is getting the brakes beat off him right now because the Lord done put lice, right, over the Egyptians, all right? You could drop that out of one, Bubba Kasha. I'm going to start at verse 20, where we was at in Exodus, right? Exodus chapter 8, verse 20. I'm going to read that. And the Lord said unto Moses, rise up early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh. Lo, he cometh forth to the water, and say unto him, thus saith the Lord, let my people go that they may serve me. The Lord is telling Pharaoh, let my people go so they can at least serve me, man. You got my people serving your weak gods. You got my people in America wanting to celebrate the fertility god of Easter. You got my people celebrating the African Nimrod for Christmas. You got my people worshiping and falling on their knees to a white man named Caesar Borgia, right? The second son of the sixth Pope of Rome. He unalived his brother and had a baby with his sister. And he was the homosexual lover of Leonardo da Vinci. And we call that man, our Christ, Jesus. Y'all don't see what's going on here? The Lord said in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68, that he would send us into Egypt again by way of ships. America spiritually is Egypt and Babylon. But we're going to focus on Egypt because Egypt just means bondage. When you are a slave, that means you are a slave to the people. You do what the people tell you you can do. You worship what they tell you to worship. Moses came because the children of Israel cried out to the Lord. And the Lord used Moses, who was not only born in Egypt, but he was raised in Pharaoh's house. That's a part of this story. Moses was raised up in Pharaoh's house. Notice he didn't stop and pray for the Egyptians. He didn't pray for Pharaoh. I'm sure he had a relationship with him, like a brother almost could, probably. Possibly. He had a relationship with. He knew the Egyptians. He lived like one, spake like one, thought like one. But he was an Israelite. He was a Hebrew. And the Lord put it in his heart to do something that set him on an act to come back and lead him up to what we're reading about now. To free his people from slavery and bondage. You understand? And what Moses is doing is the same thing that Christ did. The same thing that we are doing in the ISUPK under commanding General Yohana. We're here to tell Pharaoh Trump, let the Lord's people go. Let us worship our God the way we are supposed to worship him. We can't be homosexual. We can't eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. We can't celebrate Easter. We can't celebrate Christmas. We can't celebrate New Year's. You tell us to do these things, though. And for that, what we're reading now, it's going to happen now. Because that is what happened then. The same thing, right? Now, we're going to drop and go to Exodus chapter 9, right? Exodus chapter 9, we're going to start at verse 20, right? How many plagues we down? Anybody? Can anybody tell me how many plagues we down so far? We done had the locusts. All right. We had the blood. We got 1, 2, 3. We got 3. We 3 down, right? Let me see. Oh, Salakia, if I could. Go back to Exodus 8. Exodus 8 at verse 20. Salakia. Baba Kashaf, forgive me. Chapter 8, verse 20. All right. That's what we was on. Salakia. Okay. Verse 21, it says, else, if thou wilt not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies, right? Swarms of flies upon thee and upon thy servants and upon thy people, and into thy houses and into the houses of the Egyptians shall be full of swarms of flies, and also the ground wherein they are. So now listen, this is the Lord, this is Moses going back in, right? So far, we got 1, 2, 3 guys down. We coming up. This is the 4th one, right? So Moses back in there telling them, listen, let my people go. If not, this is what's going to happen. The Lord going to bring flies. Swarms of flies, right? Verse 22. Now watch what's going on, right? Watch this. Verse 22. And I will sever in that day the land of Goshen in which my people dwell. The Lord is letting Pharaoh know, listen, I'm going to separate my people from your people because this is war. I'm trying to prove a point to my people. So guess what? This plague right here, from here on out, watch this. The Lord told him, he said in verse 22, he said that I will sever in that day the land of Goshen in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, to the end thou mayest know that I am the Lord in the midst of the earth. The Lord letting Pharaoh know, listen, I'm really finna ramp it up, and I'm going to show you it ain't no other God but me. These flies ain't even going to go where my people at. It's not going to go to the ghetto. You understand? It's not going to the ghetto where my people at. But your people, the flies are going to be on your people. And to this day, flies are on every African in Africa. To this day. To this day, all the flies is on every African. They followed them. They followed Polite when Captain Zariot was debating Polite in that building. A fly was in there. It was on Polite. The flies was on Polite. You understand? The flies. Africans are fly people. You understand? The Lord cursed them that way, right? Verse 23, he says, and I will put a division between my people and thy people. Tomorrow shall this sign be. Verse 24, and the Lord did so. And there came a grievous swarm of flies into the house of Pharaoh and into his servants' houses, and to all the land of Egypt. The land was corrupted by reason of the swarm of flies. Now, if I could, Adawan, can I get the Egyptian god Khepri? Khepri. Let's see what this god do, right? Notice it said it's corrupted by reason of the flies, right? Watch this, everybody. The god of Khepri, Khepri. Khepri is the ancient Egyptian god of the rising sun, representing creation, renewal, and daily rebirth, often depicted as a scarab beetle or a man with a scarab head. He symbolized the movement of the sun across the sky, embodying the transformation of life and resurrection in his aspect of Ra, right? Now, Is it a part on there, sir? Salaki, sir. Is it a part that you can pull up that shows that he's the god of insects? Ah, there it is. Right. This is the full one that we need right here. The Egyptian god Capri is primarily associated with the scarab beetle, right? A scarab beetle is an insect, right? Acting as a solar deity representing the rising sun, resurrection, and transformation, Egyptians observed these insects rolling dung balls and believed they emerged spontaneously from this waste, mimicking the sun's daily rebirth and movement across the sky, right? Capri represents creation, renewal, and the life cycle. The name is derived from the Egyptian root, meaning to come into being or to transform. Now, it seemed to me that Capri ain't a real god because he can't stop the flies. Y'all don't see what's going on here? Y'all see it? This is the literal god of the insects. The Lord has got swarms of flies now tearing up Egypt, and the insect god, the god of the insects, can't stop it. He can't renew or change or stop what the Lord is doing. Barakatah wa Yahweh Shai. Y'all understand that, right? You're looking right at it. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 gods. The god of the Nile, the god of fertility, which was the frog-faced god. The Lord brought the frogs out. You understand? You had Jeb, the god of earth. The Lord turned the dirt into lice. He couldn't reverse that. Now you got Capri, god of insects. Can't stop the flies, right? You can't. And for that point, God has let Pharaoh know that the flies ain't going to be on my people. But for you Africans, for you Egyptians, you're going to forever be the fly people. All right? What's that fly that's on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? What his name was? Baxter. They going to be the Baxter people. You understand? The Africans is the Baxter people. They got Baxter running around there, man. You understand? All right. If I could, now we can go Bubba Kushar to Exodus 9, right? Exodus 9, start at verse 3. All right. Man, let me get a one West in the chat, man, if y'all seeing what's going on, man. If y'all following along, if y'all understand what's being brought out tonight, let me get a one West in the chat, man. Let me get a one West in the chat, man, if y'all see what's going on, man. The Lord is making a mockery of these other gods, man. And he mopping the flow with them, too. He mopping the flow with them. You understand? All right. Exodus chapter 9, verse 3. Here we go. Now the Lord is about to do another attack, right? On another god of Egypt. We're about to find out who this one is, right? Exodus chapter 9, verse 3 through 7, right? I'm going to start at 3. Behold, the hand of the Lord is upon thy cattle, which is in the field, upon the horses, upon the asses, upon the camels, upon the oxen, and upon the sheep. There shall be a very grievous murrain, right? The Lord is letting them know, man, listen, man, now I'm fixing to mess with your cattle. I'm finna put my hand on your cattle. When the Lord put his hands on you, you understand? He mean business. The Lord is about to put his hand on cattle. And this is how you know the book is for black people and written by black people. And this is how you know that God is black. God is Hispanic and Native Indian. He is our people. Because it used phrases like, he's going to put his hand on you. I'm going to put my hands on you. I'm going to put my hands upon the horses. You understand? Upon the asses, upon the camels, upon the oxen, upon the sheep, there shall be a grievous murrain, a grievous cry, right? Verse 4, and the Lord shall sever between the cattle of Israel, right? Meaning he's separating the cattle of Israel and the cattle of Egypt, and there shall nothing die of all that is of the children of Israel. Now, when you playing with people's cattle, right, you putting your hands on the asses and the sheep and the oxen, that means you playing with food. I mean, you can starve. Why ain't nobody over here on the Israelite side praying and saying, Lord, please don't starve them? Please don't. You should not be praying for the salvation of these damn heathens today, man. That's why the Passover is so great. Passover is not about saving the heathens. It's about saving us from the heathen. The destruction and the punishment of the heathen and their gods. And one day the Lord is going to destroy the white man and his gods. And we will be loosed and set free to serve our God without fear, as it is written in the book of Luke. You understand? Because we have an enemy. The Lord will destroy our enemy. We don't have to fight. That is why Passover is so important. You understand? You don't have to pick up the gun and fight. You don't have to fight the white man. God is going to fight them. He is fighting them now. You understand? He's about to destroy our Pharaoh, just like he destroyed the Pharaoh in Moses' day. And this is another God that our God is going to show that he does not exist. He about to mop them up. You understand? All right. Verse 4, it says, and the Lord shall sever between the cattle of Israel and the cattle of Egypt, and there shall nothing die of all that is the children of Israel. Verse 5, and the Lord appointed a set time, saying, tomorrow the Lord shall do this thing in the land. Verse 6, and the Lord did that thing on the morrow, and all the cattle of Egypt died, but the cattle of the children of Israel died not one. Verse 7, and Pharaoh sent, and behold, there was not one of the cattle of the Israelites dead, and the heart of Pharaoh was hard, and he did not let the people go. All right, if I could, Baba Kushar, can I get the Egyptian god Osiris? Listen, the Lord about to knock out the heavy hitters now. Y'all ever seen that movie, The Gods of Egypt? Y'all ever seen that movie, The Gods of Egypt? Y'all ever seen that movie? Y'all ever seen that movie where Set was fighting Osiris and all of them things like that? Well, this is what this talked about. Osiris was a big dog of the Egyptian gods, right? He was one of the top 3. You understand? Osiris is the ancient Egyptian god of the afterlife, death, resurrection, and agriculture. He was the god of their agriculture. Agriculture is what? Farming, cattling with animals, herding. You understand? Famously depicted as a mummified king with green skin and a crook and a flail. As the first son of Jeb, earth, and Nut, sky, he was beloved ruler, murdered and dismembered by his jealous brother Set. His wife, Isis, collected his pieces, resurrecting him to conceive their son Horus, who later avenged him. Role and powers. I'm going to read this. Osiris was a fertility god linked to the annual Nile flood, bringing new growth to the land as the lord of the underworld. He became the ultimate judge of souls, deciding who deserved to enter the afterlife. You understand? And part of his role was agriculture. So this is the Lord fighting against Osiris, the god of farming. You understand? Right. All them white folks pretending to be Africans. Damn right. Damn right, Officer Yagada. All them white folks pretending to be Africans. That's all you see on these pictures. This is white people talking about they Africans. The white man is the devil. That's who he is. White man is the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of. That's who he is. You know what I'm saying? He ain't the gods of Egypt. He the god of just being evil. The god of accusing. That's what he is. He's the god of accusing. You know, that's what he do. He accused the Lord's people day in and day out, day in out, and day and night out. He accuses of being sinners. He accuses of being drug addicts. He accuses of being unalivers. He accuses of being homosexual. He accuses us of everything that he has made us to be. When he is the most wickedest bastard on this earth. And the Lord is going to do him exactly like he did Egypt. This is the God of Osiris, okay? You could drop that out of one. We're going to drop down in Exodus chapter 9. We're going to stay there. We're just going to go down to verse 8 and 11, right? The Lord getting ready to do something to this God right here. It's 8:33. I'm going to try to speed it up a little bit, right? Because I want y'all to get all of these, okay? Exodus 9 and 4, right? And the Lord shall, let me go, hold on, wait a minute. Let me go up and do something real quick. 9 and 8. We're going to start at 9 and 8, right? And the Lord said unto Moses and unto Aaron, take to you handfuls of ashes, right, of the furnace. So the Lord done told Aaron and Moses to dig out some ashes out of a furnace. You understand what I'm saying? Take some of the ashes out, right? And let Moses sprinkle it towards the heaven in the sight of Pharaoh. So while Pharaoh look at Moses, take the ashes and throw them up, right? Where Pharaoh could see them, right? Verse 10. Verse 9. And it shall become small dust in all the land of Egypt, and shall be a boil, breaking forth with blains upon man and upon beast throughout the land of Egypt. So now Moses and Aaron took these ashes. Moses threw them in the air. Now, what come from this is boils. This is the plague of boils, right? So now we're going to see what God the Lord is fighting right now. All right. If I could, sir, could I get the God of the Egyptian God Sekhmet? It'll be Sekhmet, Sekhmet. Right? This is the God of Sekhmet, right? The God Sekhmet. We're going to see what he is, right? You can just pull that up, sir, and I'm going to keep reading, right? Just leave that up there, sir. I'm going to keep reading this scripture. Baba Kashav, you could. All right. And verse 11, it says, and the magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils. The boil was upon the magicians and upon all the Egyptians. Now, the boils now ain't on the Israelites. So God don't care about none of these Egyptians. But he making sure none of these plagues is happening to the Israelites. Listen, if we just came back to the law, statutes, and commandments that the Lord gave us, none of the tragedy, the tragic, crazy stuff that be happening to us, it wouldn't happen to us. We wouldn't catch AIDS. We wouldn't have to sit here and die of heart and blood pressure. You understand? We wouldn't be out here alive and unaliving one another. The plagues of this place would not be on us. The plague of poverty, spirit of unaliving, the spirit of homosexuality, it would not be on us if we would just leave this place alone and join back to our God. just like they did in Moses' day. If we did that, we would be safe. You understand? And the magicians that stood before, they couldn't stand before Moses. They had the boils. But these are the same magicians who threw down the snake and they did. Remember, the Lord been stopped them from being able to do anything. And just to push the fact on that, that's just symbolic of the Lord showing you and telling us in ISUPK to tell our people, these people have no power unless the Lord give it. So it is our job to take it back, to take it away. They don't have any power. Our God has the power. So we got the power. We got the power to stop being drug addicts. All right? We got the power to stop touching children. We got the power to stop being like the oppressor. Let the Lord destroy America. You don't receive her plagues. The Bible said, come out of her, my people, and receive not her plague. The plague that they're about to get is the same plague, the plague of war, the plague of conflict. Our God is a God of conflict. You understand? He's going to start a conflict that is going to wipe away America, and you do not want to receive it. Now, the god Sekhmet is the ancient Egyptian lioness-headed goddess of war, destruction, and healing. Sekhmet was nothing to the God of Israel in this passage right here. He was proven to be false, weak, and non-existent. It's the goddess of war and of destruction and healing. The Lord put boils on the Egyptians. Where was the healing power of Sekhmet? Where was it? There was none. Y'all do understand what's going on here, right? This is the Passover, man. And it's only one Passover. And that's the Passover that's going to be held in Houston, Texas. That's already started and underway. You understand me? You understand? This is the week of Passover. And it's only one, and that's with the ISUPK under commanding General Yohana. I seen a post with Nathaniel disgusting behind talking about Passover 17 days away. I pray that the Lord destroys whatever goes on in that Passover. Now all of a sudden you keeping the right Passover, huh? Huh, IUIC? Y'all keeping the right Passover now, huh? The Lord is not with the other Passovers. He's not with your solo dolo celebratory Passover where you're going to eat pork chops and crab and lobster. Get out of here, man. I'm over it. The Lord is destroying Sekhmet, God of healing. All right. We can drop that, Sir Bubba Kashaw. We're going to drop down in the same chapter, Exodus 9, verse 14. Start at 14. Now, that plague was the plague of boils, right? So our God attacked the God of Sekhmet, which is the God of healing. Proved that he could not heal his people of the boils. All right? Now, we're going to stay in Exodus 9. We're just going to drop down to 14. All right? And the Lord says, for I will at this time send all my plagues upon thine heart and upon thy servants and upon thy people, that thou mayest know that there is none like me in all the earth. The Lord is letting Pharaoh know, listen, Sekhmet ain't real, man. He ain't here. Hapi, Hekwit, Geb, Capri, Osiris, they not here. So now we're about to show you another God that ain't here. Salakia, sir, if you could you put up the Egyptian god Nut? All right. And while the other one got this up there, I'm going to just read the scripture. All right. I'm still in the book of Exodus, chapter 9. I'm just on 14 and 18, right? And it says, for I will at this time send all my plagues upon thy heart. All right, we got that. Verse 15. For now I will stretch out my hand that I may smite thee and thy people with pestilence, and that thou shalt be cut off from the earth. All right. The Lord saying he about to cut them off from the earth with this one. What does it mean to be cut off the earth? It means he's about to make them not a nation anymore. With this plague right here. This is the plague where the Lord, y'all not even going to be a nation no more, because the destruction that is going on is irreversible. You can't reverse it. The damage is done. All right. And it goes and it says, verse 16, and in very deed for this cause have I raised thee up. Right? The Lord saying, just for everything I've done, this is the only reason why Pharaoh is as high as he's gotten. This is the only reason why Egypt had the prosperity that they had. The Lord is telling you, I gave you the power to become the place that you became. The power that you became to be, I gave you the power. And now I'm taking it away. Right? For this cause have I raised thee up, for to show in thee my power, that my name may be declared throughout all the earth. The Lord is doing this so that his name can be spread through the world like it is today. Everybody, and even if you don't know nothing about the Bible, you know about the Lord destroying Egypt. Everybody know that. Right? Verse 17 is, yet exaltest thou thyself against my people, that thou wilt not let them go. Meaning you putting yourself up, you exalting yourself over my people like you just got all the might, like you the God. You won't let them go? Behold, tomorrow about this time I will cause it to rain, a very grievous hail, such have not been in Egypt since the foundation thereof, even until now. All right? Everybody knows that hail is little balls of ice, like stones falling from the sky. They could be small pebbles, medium size, or they could be big rocks. Hail can kill you if it's big enough because it's falling from the sky. You understand? It hit you in your head, you could die. You understand? Because the velocity is coming from up in the air. You understand? Hail ain't nothing to play with. Right? So this is the plague of hail, right? Now, this is the God that the Lord is fighting with now. Nut is the ancient Egyptian goddess of the sky, stars, and cosmos, often depicted as a nude, star-covered woman arched over the earth. She arched over the earth god. Listen, these some freaky gods in Egypt. Egypt got freaky gods. They got the pornography gods. All of they stuff is just, it's overly sexual. They got transgender gods. They got transgender gods. They got the sky god right here. She nude, she naked, covered in stars, and she bent over one of the gods. She arched over. Listen, man, Egypt was foul. You understand? And it says she's arched over the earth god Jael as a key protector of the dead and mother of major deities like Osiris and Isis. She was believed to swallow the sun each night and give birth to it at dawn. Right? This is the God of the sky. So now Moses has cursed the Egypt with this plague, with hail coming from the sky. Why is that? Because God is proving that your sky god cannot stop the hail. That's right, Officer Yagadar. They are disgusting. But the God Nut could not stop the hail from coming from the sky. The Lord is showing Egypt and the Egyptians and Pharaoh that their gods do not exist. And whatever power they did have, they only had it because he gave it to him just so he could come and do what he was doing then, right then and there, to him to show his people, right, that he was the true God. He did all of that to show the Israelites that he was the true God, and to show Pharaoh and every other heathen nation that he was the only God in the earth. And he did that to show them who his people were. This is the Passover. This is the Passover. For you to remember that the Lord will destroy other human beings who hurt you. He will give you the power to overcome them. He will give you their land of milk and honey. All you have to do is serve him and be a people that follows him and worships him with a true heart and true spirit. You understand? Sis Ra'aya. You understand? Now that is the God nut, right? With the plague of the hail, right? Now, if you could, out of one, let me get Set or Seth, the Egyptian god Set. I'm moving along right now. I'm gonna just read the little scriptures that go with it. A few of them, a few of the verses, because I want to get all of these done. All right. So this is Set, right? Exodus 10. This is going to be found in Exodus chapter 10. We're going to start at verse 4. You start at verse 4, right? Exodus chapter 10, verse 4. Else, if thou refuse to let my people go, behold, tomorrow I will bring the locusts into the coast, right? This is the plague of locusts, right? Now, this is the God that the Lord is going against now, right? The god Set or Seth is the ancient Egyptian god of chaos. Listen, I don't know about y'all. But if y'all do a study on locusts is probably the worst damn thing that can happen anywhere. Locusts eat up everything. All right. They worse than flies because they eat up all the grain. They eat up all the green. They eat it up. They destroy it. It causes total chaos. Set is the god of chaos. His job was to defend Ra from this. It was some other little god that fights Ra night and day. And Set protects Ra. You understand, from this deity, right? It's like a big worm that's supposed to suck up the Nile. I was looking it up. But he wasn't it ain't a big role. But it's right here. You can see it right here in the roll. Initially a guardian of the desert red land and it protected to Ra's solar boat. Set later became viewed primarily as a disruptor of order, Mot, and an antagonist. All right. He was considered dangerous and chaotic. Set ain't too dangerous for the God of Israel. The Lord put them locusts out. The locust was in all the houses of the Egyptians, right? And it never went over to our people. You understand? All right. The next one, if I could get Ra, the Egyptian god Ra, right? So now we done gone over Set, right? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? Set makes 8. That's 8 gods the Lord done fought, right? And done proved to be non-existent, right? And if you go down in Exodus chapter 10, just us, the other one going to leave that up there, Bubba Kashar. Exodus 10, verse 21. Right? You can find this God. The next God we about to read about. Right? Ra. Exodus 10, 21 and 23. And the Lord said unto Moses, stretch out thy hand toward heaven that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt. What does it mean for darkness to be felt? What does it mean? How many of y'all ever had y'all lights turned off? Let me see if y'all really niggas, man. I'm gonna see if y'all really niggas. Some of y'all might be white, man. Y'all might not belong. Some of y'all got some money. Y'all done had money all your lives. Y'all ain't niggas, man. Only a black, Hispanic, and Native Indian knows how this feels. You understand? Sister Deborah say, Connie, okay, we got one sister that know. I know what it's like to be when the lights turn on. You ever been in your house and the lights on and then they just go off to where you can feel it? When the lights go off, it get hot. You go to sweat. It feels thick. Because you know nobody should sit in darkness. Silence. Man, sis Raya, man, let me tell you something. That is the worst part. You ever heard the saying that silence is loud? Let the lights go out. All that quiet, that deafening quiet becomes so loud. This was the plague that the Lord put on the people of Egypt, right? And the God he was fighting was the number one God of Egypt, which is Ra. Ra was the supreme ancient Egyptian sun god, creator of all life and ruling king of the gods, primarily worshipped from the 5th dynasty onward. Represented as a falcon-headed man with a sun disk, he commanded the sky, earth, and underworld, with his daily journey symbolizing birth, death, and a resurrection. Now, peep this where it says powers and roles. It said Ra was the god of light. Ra was not a god of anything today when the Lord told Aaron to lift that damn rod up. The Passover is about the Lord taking and showing his people that these gods do not exist. The gods of these other nations do not exist. They have no power. But we're going to get into this. This is the last so-called God. Exodus 11, right? I'm going to start with Exodus chapter 11. Bubba Kashar, Officer Yagadar, you could, that's it with that. You could drop that, sir. I'm going to go here to Exodus 11. Right? And I just want all of y'all to understand this, right? This is the whole chapter, right? Verse 4, right? You understand? Exodus 11, verse 4. And Moses said, thus saith the Lord, about midnight will I go out into the midst of Egypt, and all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die. From the firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth upon his throne, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill, and all the firstborn beasts. And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, such as there was none like it, nor shall be like it any more. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that they may know how that the Lord doth put the difference between the Egyptians and Israel. The Lord has put a difference between you and the Egyptians. The Lord has put a difference between you and the white man. The Lord has put a difference between you and the Arab. You understand that? We're going to go into Exodus, the next chapter, one over, Exodus chapter 12. All right. And this is the Passover. This is what Passover is right here. Verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. This is the beginning of the year. Right? This is the scripture. January is not the beginning of the year. You are celebrating and worshiping the God of Janus. Your New Year's is now. This is the beginning of the months, meaning the beginning of the year for us. There it is. It's in the scripture, right? Verse 2. This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you, right? Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house, right? I mean, everybody was supposed to get a lamb, rich, poor, whatever. Everybody was supposed to be somewhere where a lamb was about to be slaughtered, right? Verse 4, and if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your account for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and ye shall keep it up until the 14th day in the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening, right? And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two side posts and on the upper door posts of the houses wherein they should eat it, right? And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it, right? The reason why the bread was unleavened, because when you got to hurry up and leave, you ain't got time to sit there and cook and bake. So when they was making the bread was kind of like crackers. Put it like that. Like crackers. You ever ate a cracker or a hard tortilla shell? Tortilla shell, that's what it was. That's unleavened bread. Just hard bread, like hard bread with no flour. Because we had to eat it in the hurry, on the run. We had to go. You understand? You didn't have no jelly for it or no syrup. All you had was bitter herbs. You understand? You had that, the herbs, and the lamb. Right? You didn't have steak. You didn't have catfish. You understand? Right? And it says, and they shall take the blood, strike it on the doorpost. Verse 8, and they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Verse 9, eat not of it raw, nor sodden it all with water, but roast with fire, his head with his legs, and with the pertainers thereof. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning. And that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. You understand that? All right. We're going to drop to verse 12. Matter of fact, we're going to go verse 11. And thus shall ye eat it with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover, right? For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and I will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Most High. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. Listen, man, this is a memorial of the Lord destroying our oppressors, man. The Lord destroyed these people for oppressing us. I pray y'all understand. We don't worship or celebrate bunnies. We don't celebrate Easter. We celebrate Passover. You understand? The Lord destroyed our enemies. The last God the Lord destroyed was our oppressor. The oppressor that thinks himself a God. And he destroyed his gods along with it, man. All right. Clap it up, man. I hope all y'all enjoyed the class, man. I'm glad to rock out, man, brothers and sisters. Houston right now. Salakia, sir. if I could, let me see if I got them. Let me see if I got the security announcements, the right ones. I think I do. Officer Yagada sent me everything. So I know I got it in here. So Officer Yagada gonna send you everything, boy. It ain't nothing that you need that he don't got. He got it. I know I got it in here somewhere. Right here, I got it. Right here. Right off the press. All right. Got these bad eyes. All right. I'm going to read these security announcements. Listen, man. Y'all brothers get down there, man. I'm heading out Wednesday. All right. I'll be there Wednesday. I hope to get up with y'all brothers and sisters, man. Read these security announcements. ISUPK security announcements. Where the ISUPK started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for a year. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After a year, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6-month period in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Ties, which is a commandment, Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3, 8 through 10, you understand, means 10th in the Hebrew, ma'ashra, 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives you. All right, what you're going to do is go to ISUPK.com. When you go on there, click on the link, you'll look up in the corner and you'll see a blue button. It'll say tithes or donations. You want to go there and pay your tithes and your donations, all right? Free will offering for priest fund is a free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming convocations right now, we're getting it on in Houston, man. It's the Lord's Passover, man. So I hope all you brothers, to see all you brothers and sisters out there, you know, we're getting it on out there in Houston, Texas, man. All right. If any brother wants to come into the school and be a trooper, he needs to put on black boots, shirt, pants, and a headband or scarf. If a sister want to come and be in the school, she need to have her head completely wrapped and have on a modest dress. All right. And with that, we're going to give a salute to the brothers and the sisters. All right. Men of Israel, I imagine. Give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, I imagine Shabbat. I imagine Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabbat Rakatah. Yahweh Matah, sisters, stand. I imagine, which is the stand. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, I imagine Shabbat. I imagine Barak. Yahweh Shemal Atah Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. And that concludes the class. I see y'all brothers down in Houston, Lord allow, man.
Shalom, Israel, with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. And you know what time it is. It's the Lord's 57th annual Passover. And it's going to be held in Houston, Texas on April 4th. Don't forget, bring your family, bring your friends. Because this is going to be the time that so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans can come under one roof in one house and to serve the Lord. It's that time. $200 per person. Don't forget, over the age of 17. Don't forget the Lord's Passover. It's coming.
Kingdoms ours, all the heathens forbidden. The chosen bow down to no one. It was written.